5 ways to recognize obsessive, scary, and compulsive catastrophizing. It's normal for human beings to sometimes have obsessive, scary, and compulsive catastrophizing thoughts. If you find yourself constantly entertaining these kinds of catastrophic thoughts, this type of thinking, also called catastrophic thinking, can have some very devastating and terrible consequences on your life. Number 1. Catastrophic thinking can ruin your chances for good things in life. Psychology today defines catastrophic thinking as obsessive thoughts about irrational, worst-case scenario type outcomes. In other words, the extreme habit of thinking negatively about probable future outcomes, a bad future outcome that doesn't exist, as it's in the future, it hasn't happened yet. This type of thinking also falls under what is called cognitive distortion. This kind of thinking increases anxiety to a level that prevents people from taking action in situations where the action is needed to prevent real negative future outcomes. This kind of thinking increases anxiety to a level that prevents people from taking action in situations where the action is needed to prevent real negative future outcomes. In a Healthline article, they use the term catastrophizing. The catastrophizing definition is when a person engages in negative thinking and assumes that the worst will happen. A person catastrophizing often believes that the situation they are in is always worse than it really is. They tend to have an exaggerated or negatively distorted view of a situation, thereby making it much more difficult than it really is. Catastrophic thinking can often lead to failure, for example, in the case of a job interview. Having to talk about yourself in front of people you don't know in a position of authority, being evaluated on your demeanor, appearance, and ability to sell yourself is enough to put most people on edge. But thinking that you'll never get the job, you're not dressed for the position, and you can't sell yourself can cause anxiety and nervousness. It can make you appear awkward and possibly even hamper your ability to communicate effectively enough to sell yourself. Number 2, catastrophic thinking steals your inner peace. Catastrophic thinking increases worries and stress to above normal levels. Feeling worried happens to many people and can be normal. Everyone has times that make them feel stressed or out of control. However, when catastrophic thinking settles in, these thoughts happen more frequently than normal and can lead to anxiety and even crippling fear. For example, a man can be having a normal night at work when it suddenly begins to rain. When he sees rain hitting the roadways, he may think about his wife driving home from her day shift. In this imaginary scenario, he may immediately begin to think of all the ways she could get hurt: a bad car accident, and then the driver sliding off the road into her vehicle, or even a flash flood across the roadway pushing her car away. It is likely that the rainy drive home will lead to his wife's imminent demise. I think not. Does this possibility feel very real to someone with catastrophic thinking issues? Yes, it does. Number 3. Catastrophic thinking can damage relationships. People who suffer from catastrophic thinking can also have issues maintaining strong and healthy relationships. Like the previous imaginary example, people with catastrophic thinking tendencies often visualize horrible things happening to the people they love. These constant, scary thoughts can cause them to be overprotective or extremely cautious. Add elements of insecurity and jealousy to a catastrophic thinker, and he or she now thinks their significant other is now cheating or doing something behind their back. While being cautious and protective aren't bad ways to be toward your loved ones, too much can feel incredibly smothering or controlling. If your mind is obsessed with catastrophic thinking, it can cause people to stay away from you. It can also ruin relationships with other family members, co-workers, and neighbors. Rather than strengthening your bond with your loved ones, catastrophic thinking can ruin your chances of building a deep, meaningful relationship with someone. Number 4. Catastrophic thinking consumes your attention from truly important things in life. If you spend all your time obsessing on catastrophic thoughts, you lose time and focus on other important parts of life. It's also a waste of physical and mental energy. Some worrying is normal and can even help you stay focused on avoiding bad situations. But when the worrying enters the realm of catastrophic thinking, you lose focus and energy for the most important parts of your life. If you're spending time obsessing over imaginary situations and convoluted fantasies, you aren't spending that time focusing on the things that need your attention the most. Future plans, relationships, to-do lists, fun activities, and more all fall to the wayside when you spend time obsessing over worst-case scenarios. Number 5. Obsessive, scary, and compulsive catastrophizing thoughts make living a normal and happy life nearly impossible. While you can learn to control your catastrophic thinking, not everyone does. This can quickly lead to missed opportunities in the workplace or financial opportunities, failed romances, and more. When your energy is spent feeding into catastrophic thoughts, you feel crippled when it's time to take action, make decisions, and live life. Rather than enjoying life, taking a chance, and trying something new, you immediately stop trying when you think of how everything can go wrong. It's also common with people that have OCD. They give their ideas repeated negative catastrophic meanings to the point that they become obsessive, scary, and compulsive, which often cause them to engage in irrational behaviors resulting from the anxiety and depression they start to experience. Take the time to understand, apply, and recognize obsessive, scary, and compulsive catastrophizing thoughts with this article to improve and enjoy your life. Disclaimer: this video is for informational or educational purposes only. No content is intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Consult your physician regarding the applicability of any opinions or recommendations with respect to your symptoms or any medical conditions.